The massive Thraxian battlecruiser, Eternal Dominion, limped into Earth's orbital repair complex, trailing ionized plasma and debris from a catastrophic engine failure. At 19 kilometers long and comprised of technologies from 17 different star systems, the vessel represented the pinnacle of Thraxian engineering, a civilization that had been spacefaring for over 40,000 years. Yet here it was, approaching a repair facility operated by humans, a species that had achieved faster-than-light travel barely 2 centuries ago. Station Director Amara Okafor watched from the Central Operations Hub as tug vessels guided the damaged battlecruiser into Dock 17, the largest bay in the Sol System primary repair complex. At 52, Amara had spent 30 years working her way up from apprentice technician to overseeing the most prestigious repair facility in 7 sectors. Under her leadership, the station had developed a reputation that drew vessels from civilizations that otherwise rarely interacted with humanity. Damage assessment? She asked her deputy director. Miguel Chen consulted his neural interface. Primary quantum fold matrix experienced cascading failure following their engagement with the Vordax hegemony. 17 dead, 42 injured. Their engineering team attempted standard repairs using Thraxian protocols, but the damage extended beyond their conventional repair parameters. Amara nodded. This was typical. Standard divergent methodology approach then. Have Chief Rodriguez prepare a multi-species engineering team. I want at least 2 quantum specialists who've never worked on Thraxian technology before. Miguel raised an eyebrow. Never worked on it before. The Thraxian ambassador is aboard. He's going to want our best specialists. Amara smiled. And he'll get them. But he'll also get what they really came for: human ingenuity. That's why they bypassed 3 galactic consortium repair stations to reach us. Ambassador K. Vex of the Thraxian Stellar Imperium stood rigidly in the observation lounge, his chromatophores displaying patterns of anxiety and impatience as he watched the humans prepare to work on his empire's flagship. Though his species had been traversing the stars when humans were still perfecting stone tools, K. Vex had personally insisted that the damaged vessel make the considerable detour to reach the human repair facilities. The door to the observation lounge slid open, and Director Okafor entered with a datapad. Ambassador, we've completed our initial assessment. The quantum fold matrix damage is substantial but repairable. How long? Demanded KVEX. 4 days. The ambassador's chromatophores flashed with disbelief. Impossible. The consortium engineers at Proxima Station estimated 27 days, and they possess Thraxian technical specifications. Amara merely smiled. Yes, I've reviewed their assessment. They plan to follow standard Thraxian repair protocols. We'll be taking a different approach. The matrix was designed by our greatest engineers, KVEX protested. It cannot be properly repaired using inferior methodologies. With respect, Ambassador, if your methodologies were sufficient, you wouldn't have diverted to our facility, Amara replied evenly. You came to us for precisely the reason every advanced species eventually does, because sometimes the inferior approach is exactly what's needed. Before KVEX could respond, a notification chimed. The observation window's display shifted to show the repair bay, where an unusual team had assembled around the exposed quantum fold matrix. Humans worked alongside robotic assistants and a few alien specialists, but what caught the ambassador's attention was the apparent chaos of their approach. What are they doing? He demanded. That technician is using a manual plasma torch on a quantum stabilizer. And is that human fabricating a custom interface using parts from what appears to be a Rigelian food processor? That's Chief Rodriguez, Amara explained. And yes, he's implementing what we called adaptive cross-system integration. The Rigelian molecular resequencing technology, used in their food processors, operates on surprisingly similar principles to your quantum stabilizers, just at a different scale and for a different purpose. Cavex watched in horrified fascination as the humans seemingly violated every principle of proper engineering. They were integrating technologies from incompatible systems, retrofitting components never designed to interact, and in some cases, creating entirely new interfaces using what appeared to be hand-drawn schematics rather than precise technical specifications. "This is madness," the ambassador whispered. "This is human engineering," Amara corrected gently. "And it's why you're here." 3 days later, a full day ahead of even the ambitious schedule director, Okafor, had promised the Eternal Dominion's quantum fold matrix hummed with energy, its efficiency readings actually exceeding the original specifications by 8.7%. Ambassador K. Vex had barely left the observation lounge, watching with increasing amazement as the human repair teams worked in ways that defied conventional galactic engineering principles. Now, as the final diagnostics confirmed the successful repair, he turned to Amara with his chromatophorays, displaying patterns a human might interpret as grudging respect. "I must understand," he said. "How do humans approach engineering so differently from species with far longer technological histories? What you've accomplished here would be considered heretical by consortium standards, yet the results are undeniable." Amara considered the question. It was one she'd heard variations of hundreds of times from representatives of ancient spacefaring civilizations. Most galactic species develop technology in relatively stable environments, she explained. Your evolution on Thrax, for instance, occurred on a planet with minimal geological activity, predictable weather patterns, and no natural predators for your dominant species for the last million years. She gestured toward the repair bay, where human engineers were now explaining their modifications to the bewildered Thraxian crew. "Humans evolved on a death world," Amara continued. "Earth tried to kill us with everything it had: extreme weather, geological instability, predators, diseases. Our entire evolutionary history was one long emergency. We didn't survive by developing perfect, standardized solutions. We survived by adapting, improvising, seeing patterns between seemingly unrelated systems." Cavex translator struggled briefly with the concept. "You're saying humans see connections that other species miss?" "Exactly. Where a Thraxian engineer sees a quantum stabilizer that can only be repaired with Thraxian-approved components and methodologies, a human engineer sees basic principles of energy modulation that happen to be present in dozens of technologies from different species, developed for entirely different purposes." The ambassador was silent for a long moment. "And this is why the Eternal Dominion isn't the only ship to seek your facilities, despite your species' relative youth." Amara nodded. "Last month alone, we serviced vessels from 37 different civilizations, many of them thousands of years more advanced than humanity. They come because, after exhausting all proper solutions, they need someone who can look at a problem sideways." Cavex chromatophores shifted to a pattern Amara had come to recognize as contemplative. There is a concept in ancient Thraxian philosophy, Zelvikar, which roughly translates to the wisdom found in unconventional patterns. It fell out of favor thousands of years ago, as our engineering became more standardized and efficient. He gestured toward the repaired quantum fold matrix. "Perhaps we sacrifice something valuable in exchange for that standardization." "Every species has its strengths," Amara offered diplomatically. "You've achieved miracles with your methodical approach to technology. We've simply maintained a different perspective out of necessity." "Indeed," agreed the ambassador, "though I suspect there will be considerable debate in the Imperium about implementing some of your unorthodox methods."